and his future looks increasingly uncertain as well. He was left out of Chelsea's pre-season friendly with AC Milan yesterday. His valuation in any potential deal would be in line with fees paid for strikers in the current markets. That basically means that Chelsea want quite a hefty fee for him, in line with the likes of Ekitike, Gyökeres, etc. In Good Morning Transfers, we talked about how perhaps Milan, Juventus and now Bayern Munich possibly not going to be destinations that he could end up at for various reasons. Do you think, Dan, he could end up at a Premier League club?
Well, I think, first of all, in his first 2 seasons, he has shown steady improvement. I mean, his 10 goals last year in the Premier League maybe don't tell the full story. I mean, yes, his finishing can clean up a little bit in terms of his clinicalness, but I think his overall round play was actually really positive. And there was a spell where he was injured for a little bit, or when he was suspended, when he was out of the team, you noticed a clear difference in terms of performance, I think, in terms of his link up with Cole Palmer that wasn't quite there when he was absent from the team. So I'm a big fan of Nicolas Jackson. I think if a Premier League team can afford him, because he is on an 8-year contract now at Chelsea after signing a 2-year extension just last season, we'll have to wait and see. But I think he still has such a ceiling to reach, still so much potential there.
Who could afford it? Well, I mean, I suppose Newcastle, if they get any money for Alexander Isak.
I mean, I think right now he makes Newcastle make the most sense in terms of finances, but also the need of a striker. Whether Alexander Isak stays or goes, they need someone else in terms of European football as well, and the amount of games they will have. And I think Nicolas Jackson would be good there, especially with the likes of Anthony Elanga and everyone else. I'd be very excited to see that, but let's wait and see who can afford him.
Well, it's the pace, isn't it, that he has. He does bring a chaotic edge to his game, but that can be a good thing sometimes because it makes him unpredictable. I think he suffered from a couple of difficult moments, getting sent off against Flamengo, the Club World Cup, sent off against Newcastle late last season in what was a huge game for Chelsea. Didn't matter in the end, but it was big at the time. But we shouldn't be surprised by that because he didn't have much of a track record when he came. He only really had half a season of proper elite performance in La Liga. So he was always going to be a risk. So it does feel a little bit like Højlund in the sense that, are these clubs giving up on these players a bit too quickly?
Just in terms of players who might come in to Chelsea, I just want to get your thoughts on this, Kevin. We're hearing that Chelsea want to bring both Garnacho and Xavi Simons in before the end of the window, if possible, but nothing concrete yet, no formal offer. If you were a Chelsea fan, which of those two players do you think would be more important to the side, if you could choose one of them?
I like Xavi a lot in terms of what he brings. I do like Garnacho, but I think they brought in Gittins to play that left wing, kind of traditional winger's role. Xavi gives you something a bit different in the sense that he's a little bit Palmer-esque. Palmer is incredible, so I'm not putting him on that same level just now. But he can play in that central area. He'll naturally drift out to the left, but he provides goals, he provides assists. The only question I have in my mind about Xavi is how's he going to deal with not being the main man? Because he's absolutely been that at Leipzig. He was that at PSV before then, and he's been at big clubs before, like Barcelona, like PSG, where he wasn't able to really stamp his authority on things. So I think Xavi is the more interesting player. I think he can maybe do more for them in the long run. So we'll see how that shakes down.
OK. Might get both, of course. You never know, right?
Right then, Blues fans, we're diving straight into what could be the most explosive week of Chelsea's summer transfer window yet. And let me tell you, what's happening at Cobham right now is absolutely mental. We're talking about a complete reshuffling of Enzo Maresca's attacking options, with Nicolas Jackson potentially heading for the exit door, whilst the club are reportedly closing in on not one, but two massive signings that could transform our forward line completely. The drama unfolding behind the scenes at Stamford Bridge is something straight out of a thriller. Now, before we get into all the juicy details, if you're loving this content and want to stay ahead of every single Chelsea transfer development, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're your inside track to everything happening at the bridge, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next in this transfer saga. Let's start with Nicolas Jackson, shall we? The Senegalese striker has reportedly handed in a transfer request at Chelsea, and sources close to the club are telling us this move has been brewing for weeks. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Jackson has allegedly been training alone at Cobham, completely separate from the first team squad. That's not the behavior of a player who's planning to stick around, is it? The writing was on the wall when Maresca left Jackson out of the squad for the recent friendlies against Bayer Leverkusen and AC Milan. With new signings, João Pedro and Liam Delap both impressing in pre-season, Jackson has found himself slipping down the pecking order faster than you can say Club World Cup winners. Now, Newcastle United are being touted as Jackson's preferred destination, with Eddie Howe's side reportedly willing to meet Chelsea's valuation. But here's the twist. The Magpies are waiting to see what happens with Alexander Isak's future before making their move. It's like a game of transfer dominoes, and Jackson's move is dependent on what happens elsewhere. Chelsea are said to be demanding around $75 million for Jackson, using the fees paid for Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko as benchmarks. Not unreasonable when you consider Jackson's contract runs until 2033, and he's still only 24 years old with bags of potential. But whilst Jackson might be heading out the door, Maresca and the Chelsea hierarchy are working overtime to bring in two absolute crackers to replace him. And this is where things get properly exciting, Blues fans. Alejandro Garnacho. Remember that name, because he could be wearing the blue shirt very soon. The Manchester United winger has reportedly agreed personal terms with Chelsea, and Fabrizio Romano is telling us that every detail has been sorted on the player's side. Garnacho only wants Chelsea, and that's music to our ears, isn't it? The 21-year-old Argentine has fallen out of favor under Ruben Amorim at Old Trafford, and United are apparently willing to let him go for around $50 million. But here's the clever bit. Chelsea are reportedly trying to negotiate that fee down to around $40 million. That would be absolutely brilliant business for a player of Garnacho's quality and potential. What makes this even more appealing is Garnacho's desire to stay in the Premier League and prove a point to his current manager. He's hungry, he's talented, and he fits perfectly into Maresca's system. Plus, with Noni Madueke recently sold to Arsenal, there's a clear spot in the squad for exactly this type of player. But wait, there's more. Chelsea are also pursuing Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig, and this could be the signing that really sets tongues wagging. The Dutch midfielder has been absolutely exceptional in the Bundesliga, registering 18 goal contributions last season. He's versatile, creative, and exactly the type of player who could take our attacking play to the next level. Simons has reportedly removed Leipzig from his Instagram bio. And if that's not a transfer hint, I don't know what is. He's been left out of Leipzig's recent friendlies and hasn't been training with the first team. Sound familiar? The parallels with Jackson's situation are remarkable. Leipzig are demanding around $70 million for Simons, but with only 2 years left on his contract and the player clearly wanting out, Chelsea might be able to negotiate a more reasonable fee. Some reports are suggesting a deal could be done for around $60 million. Now, here's what makes this whole situation so fascinating from a tactical perspective. Maresca clearly has a vision for how he wants Chelsea to play, and both Garnacho and Simons fit that blueprint perfectly. We're talking about pace, creativity, and the ability to interchange positions across the front line. The financial aspect is equally intriguing. Chelsea have already raised over $150 million through player sales this summer, with more departures expected. The sales of players like Armando Broja, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and potentially Jackson himself are funding this ambitious recruitment drive. What we're witnessing here is a complete transformation of Chelsea's attacking philosophy. Out with the old, in with the new. Maresca wants players who can create, score, and adapt to different tactical situations. Both Garnacho and Simons tick every single box. The timeline is crucial here, Blues fans. We're in the final weeks of the transfer window, and these deals need to get done quickly. Jackson's departure could accelerate everything else, providing both the funds and the squad space needed for the incoming signings. From a sporting perspective, imagine the possibilities. Garnacho on one wing, Simons operating centrally or drifting wide, with João Pedro and Liam Delap providing the focal point up front. Add in players like Cole Palmer, Christopher Nkunku, and our other attacking talents, and we're looking at genuine squad depth and quality. The fan reaction has been fascinating to watch as well. Social media is buzzing with excitement about both potential signings, whilst there's a more mixed response to Jackson's likely departure. Some supporters feel he never got a fair chance to prove himself, whilst others believe this is the right time for a fresh start. What's particularly encouraging is how quickly these deals are progressing. Personal terms agreed with Garnacho, advanced talks with Leipzig over Simons, and Jackson's exit seemingly inevitable. This isn't the Chelsea of old, dragging deals out for months. This is swift, decisive action in the transfer market. The next few days could be absolutely crucial for Chelsea's season before it even begins. If Maresca can get both Garnacho and Simons through the door whilst moving Jackson on for a decent fee, it would represent one of the most successful transfer windows in recent memory. So there you have it. Blues fans, a complete overhaul of our attacking options is potentially just days away. Keep your eyes glued to this channel, because when these deals start falling like dominoes, you'll want to be the first to know. What do you think? Are you excited about these potential signings? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Chelsea transfer news.